out with me today. Today, I am getting ready for the panty party that I'm going to be doing at the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival in Rosemont, Illinois on May 2nd. And so this is requiring that I put together, I have some kits and I can show y'all a few of the kits things. They're really, really cute. And then I'm also just making underwear in a variety of stages to show people how easy it is and um, how much fun you can have doing it. So I am going to put you all in my phone holder. Let me know where you are coming in from. And thank you so much for hanging out with me as I get ready with this today. Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, put this down right here. Turn this around, and I will talk a little bit about the panty pieces that I'm putting together right now, and how they're working, and why I'm trying it this way. Thank you for your patience. Not gonna work. Yeah, that's good. Good enough. All right. Hopefully, not too choppy uppy. All right. One of the great things I love about underwear is that it takes these weird pieces of fabric and you can turn them into something totally different. This brief I'm working on right now, look at this little bottom. Oh my gosh, this is like, it's really going to be small. But it does let me use up some last bit of fabric pieces. So now we're going to cut the lining piece, two of them on the fold, and then we'll put that panty together. And I also like to press my fold over elastic. But sometimes you get like a weird little, what do you call it? A weird piece of fabric that's just kind of jankily cut. And that's not on purpose. That's because what I'm working with here, is a bunch of scraps. These are things that I have literally pulled out of my scrap bin and I'm using them now. I am stitching them together to make something totally different. So sometimes the cuts are going to be a little messy and that's okay. Um, but there are ways we can kind of readjust and reorient our pieces so that um they line up a bit better. And that's what I'm working on right now. I have already cut my front and my back, and then this particular panty holds together. Hello. Hello from Russia. Hi there. Hello, friends. Where else? Hello. We have someone from Russia calling in. Anybody else? Where are all y'all from? I think Russia might be the farthest place from me right now. Um, and it's very glad to see you. Good to see you. So I can turn this around so you all can see what I'm looking at. And then we'll take it to the machine in a bit. But first, I like to get all of the pieces together. I'm going to move this over here and do a little bit of turning so you can see what I see as we cut this. This is my cutting table right now, and it is admittedly a mess. I admit that. And trust me when I tell you, it was much worse a second ago. Before I was like, "Oh my goodness, let me go show people things." We are the Panty Party class is sponsored by Famore, and this is the rotary cutter that I'm using. I do really like it, and it was one of the reasons I asked them to support the class, so they'll be providing cutters. All right, we'll do that one. And then like, so again, you see here with this fabric, it's all kind of like jankily, like this is just an awkward little piece. It's fine. We can still find a way to get what we need in there. You could always preview it as well. See? Since you need to. Perfect. We know that's gonna fit. So we'll put it this way. I can cut this off because I don't need it. There. All right. So that is not working there. Oh, wait. This way? However, am I going to make this fit? I think this part right here. I should be able to get it right here. Let's try again. Wait, hold please. This is, I need to make a second one of these, and I need to get it out of here. Where was it? It was right there. Can you see what I'm looking at there? And it also seems to fit right there, as well as upside down right there. Why am I bugging then? Why am I not getting it? Why am I not laying it in right? Hello, welcome. Hi there. Hi, hi. I am cutting this middle piece here. Trying to. And this is sometimes where being lazy can backfire. Not that I'm lazy. I was just trying to be efficient. Because I could absolutely have just cut around the piece without it being folded, but I prefer the accuracy of cutting on the fold. Now again, because these pieces that I'm working with are scrap pieces, I'm not too worried about any overcutting or anything like that, because these are just going to go in the trash. Now these I might keep because these also, because I do like a cotton lycra crotch liner. So I sometimes save these small pieces to make more liners for different types of underpants. Okay, so here we go. So this one, I think this is going to be so cute actually. I think that's going to be super cute. Uh-oh. I know I cut two. Where's the other one? Yo, I have not walked away from this table. Where is, oh, phew, there we go. All right, so these are our two crotch liner pieces. We have the front and back piece of the panty, and this is the type of panty that connects through the middle. So this part goes to the back, that's why it has a notch, and this part goes to the front. That's why it's flat. So we're gonna put these together and or maybe baste them together. And then I'll make another pair where I start to add the fold over elastic. So here's one stack. I'll cut another one. Now, the great thing about cutting two of these is that you can use the inside or the outside. What I'm going to do for this second pair of briefs that I'm going to make in the same style, I'm going to go from a low rise to a mid rise. And nothing much changes at all, really. The elastics stay the same, but you get more coverage around the waist. I don't have very much of this fabric right here, so I'm going to try to conserve it by making basically a few liners that I can then use later. Um, or use as insides if this is going to be the outside. So I'm curious to see though. Well, actually, I don't. Let me just go ahead and make another one of these. Have a nice day. Okay, so here we go. We're rolling it this way. Let me see. How much could I typically? Ooh, could I get two out of here? Let me see. Mm, no, it's not gonna reach. So we will just, again, this is all scrap fabric. It started as fabric and it has been extended to be more than scrap fabric. You're giving it a little bit more life. And this way. Okay. Now I believe I have exhausted these scraps. I don't think there's going to be any more of those left. So these can now go in the scrap bin. So now we're going to go into this fabric. One of my favorites. And see which one am I going to make? Am I going to make a mid-rise brief or a higher one? Also, I really like how this piece has this little weird little show us the fabric. It's really a lovely fabric. So this, y'all, that I'm working with is a custom-made fabric designed by a Black woman. Um, it is so cool. Look at this. So it's all these different Black women set up in very fun different arrangements. And I have made a hoodie from this. And that's why, so look right here. You see what this is? This is a sleeve. I cut out a sleeve here. I think that's the shoulder part. Um, let's see what else is on here. This little janky part right here. The fact that this fabric does not, it doesn't, you can tell it's a scrap. It doesn't go selvage to selvage. But one of the reasons I really like working with cotton lycra in general is the what do they call resiliency. Like I love the way it snaps. Like you hear that? Oh my gosh. It's the elasticity, the way it kind of recovers, like, oh, so freaking awesome. So I'm trying to decide now, am I going to make a mid-rise version of the underwear that I just cut out, or if I'm gonna cut out a different bikini pair for which I actually already have the elastic cut. So I feel like with this piece, I could probably do both. I could probably do both, but let me lay it out first. So let's just give as an example, what can I reasonably get from here? Reasonably, nothing to fit on around my waist or butt cheeks, but um, things get way more serious when we get up to this section. So we can see another problem though with cotton lycra and why people don't like it. Do you see how this is rolling in here? They see me rolling. They hate and this will do this forever. It is never going to stop. Unless I press it down and put an adhesive or an interfacing on top, it's just going to keep doing that. So people who do fabric sales and stuff do not like cotton lycra because of the way it shrinks and it doesn't, you end up wasting a lot, they say. And they say that, and I'm going to just believe them, because they know. But you can see here, this feels like this is like 2 inches, and that's all selvage. And because of just how it was when it was put together and wound up, It's just not gonna, I could cut that off and then the rest would roll. So I don't have a full fold here to lay on these brief pieces. These, so let's see, just to test. See, nope, nope, no, yes. All right, so yes there, but also nope, nope. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this. What? Wait. I think that could work, yo. Huh. All right. So that's cool. Let us see about this other pattern. Let's see. This one feels a little longer. I'm being cagey because they do not like you. Pattern companies don't like you to show the pattern pieces. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. How it is, I'll take this off the camera. This is a pattern piece. I'm just going to see if it works. No, 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 yes. So, given the width that I have available to me, F those companies. um, given the width I have available to me, the only thing I can fit so far is a bottom piece that goes from here to here. Any top piece that I had or back piece, so this is the back piece, can fit right here. The back piece could fit here. But the front piece cannot. This leaves us with a couple of options, neither of which I like. We could piece this together, then you have a seam in the front of your drawers, ill. Or I change the orientation and the people, instead of being right sides up, they're going to be sideways, right? Yeah, that's kind of like this back part is going to be covering both cheeks. But the front is what I am missing. The front is what I don't have enough space for. I don't think. Yeah, I don't. I could. Oh, it's cutting it so close. It's cutting it very, 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 very close. But you know what? Maybe. Because I'm looking at this bikini now. And I'm doing a few. Um, and that one's not gonna work. That one is too big. Oh. And then I have all the leftover for liners if I wanted. Okay. That looks doable. And let me see what the back looks like, because this looks like it could totally work. This looks really workable. And yes, so when you're working with sewing patterns, typically you're working with half your body. So that is kind of like one butt cheek. Okay, so this is going to be a mid-rise instead of a hipster. I do like a mid-rise. Just feel more secure. Oh, good. Okay. Yo, this is going to work. Excellent. Okay. Exciting news. I got it. Yay. So I'm going to turn this around, and then now I have two pieces that I can work with. And I already have my elastic cut, and I'll be able to sew it like right directly and show y'all how easy that is. So that's what we're going to do real quick. What are y'all up to today? What have y'all been doing to keep yourself and your stitches together? We're going to be going over there in just a second to sew these underwear pieces together. But now I'm just going to switch you over so you can. I can be more sociable. See? Hi, sociable. Let's be sociable. Okay. I'm trying to conserve as much as I can of this fabric, even as I use it up, because this type of fabric in particular, custom fabric that features Black women on it, is not easy to find. However, I do have some that I'm going to be bringing to the Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival. You want to see it? You want to see the fabric I'm bringing there? Okay. All right. So just to review, to show like cheek coverage, something that I'm interested in. So look, this is the back. This is the back. And this is another back. And so you can see this one is more like shorts. And then this other one is more like a traditional brief and just traditional brief. This is a nice nice piece of fabric that I'm gonna absolutely fold back up, put right back in my scrap collection. I do not need, I'm gonna use the blue lining for that. And they're very different. But when you see them, they look odd, but when you see them, when they're put together, they're very, very cute. They are really cute. They do look very different. But when you put them together, and that's the thing about pattern pieces too. Like, so I will take that. Well, I am going to have the scrap pieces, so I guess I could cut liners out of that if I wanted, or just save it. Well, I think I might just save it. Okay, so I fold these things here a certain way so that they can fit. They're meant to be about 4 inches across, which is about the width of my hand. And so that's how I know that the sizing is accurate when it goes in the drawer. And I can show you the drawer where the things are ideally folded in the right size. So this is drawer B1. My fabrics are organized. The ones that are folded up are organized by column. All of the cotton prints that I use for quilting and some kind of apparel sewing pieces are all listed here or saved here. All the fabric that is 3 yards or less is folded here. The woven fabrics are folded here from this drawer down. These are scraps, folded pieces of knit fabric. This piece, this one right here, this column, except for this drawer because I didn't plan well, this one drawer I had to just stick some fabric somewhere. This is all knit fabric, cotton lycra primarily because that's what I like, but it includes some rayon, stretch, and other t-shirt type materials. Because I've already cut this up, I am done with it for now, so I can open the drawer, pull it in here with the other fabrics. I got so much fun fabrics. So let me show you real quick. Look, you see the drawer? Okay, so these are all like leftover pieces. Pieces that I had made things from, fabrics that I bought a long time ago. But I got so many fun kind of novelty fabrics. Like, get this one. That's fun. I have a pair of underwear out of this. This is also another fun one. Look, I put that in the front of boxer briefs. I think that's very fun. Or as a crotch liner for underwear. You pull down your pants, you're like, ha ha! Wonderful. Delicious. Oh, to continue the theme, similar fabrics. Um, oh, food. Reese cup. Well, chocolate covered peanut butter cups. Soft tacos. Oh, so well, they have this is flour and is it only flour tortilla? No, it's both. Tacos. Tacos. Let's talk about it. And you can't have tacos without flour tortillas. Tacos. What else do I have? Oh, this one. This is a sheer cupcakes. I made a pair out of these. See how sheer it is? Delish. What else? This one that has some bad words. Made Ben a shirt out of this one. See the bad words? Can y'all read those? That's another one. Yeah. Sometimes I just see things and I'm like, I would like to make that one day. I'd like to make that. I could make that. I want to make, and because I can, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get it, and then I get it, and then like sometimes I make something, and sometimes I don't, but I put it away in the collection, and I always have the potential. All right, so here's gonna be the crotch liner for that. All right, so I was happy that I was able to do that. I'm trying to figure out how many samples do I need and how many different stages. I wanted to be able to show examples of the different stages and how some of them come together through the front, some of them come together through the middle. Some of the ones that are the no-show ones, I got a no-show brief as well, no line panty. That one is just so weird shaped, just it's very oddly shaped, and it comes together through the center back, which you wouldn't expect. Just moving this a hair, 'cause I think I can get over here. I think it won't be too bad. Well, I know how not to make it bad. I know how to make it good. Okay. Shout out to Famore for the supporting the class with rotary cutters, snips, and scissors. And then the next thing we're going to do is get our liner, which, so see, I have this weird little shape. It could be a great liner. It could be a great liner for this pair. It could be a great liner for other pairs. So sometimes I will just set it aside. Oh, you want to see some of the other liner fabrics I have? Let me show you. Hold on. So this is one. This is one that was part of a larger piece of fabric. This is from with the black superheroes, black lady superheroes. Oh, maybe I'll use this for the liner. That'll be good. Um, More black lady superheroes here. BB-8, a little R2, some Black Panther, more Black Panther. And these are things that I absolutely fish directly from a scrap bag, like a huge, like kitchen sized scrap bag of knit fabric scraps that I just happen to have. And so now I can use these. Actually, the kits that I've created for the class have some of these in them as practice. So you can practice applying fold over elastic. You can practice applying your waistband elastic. You can practice your stitches when you take this class and get acclimated to the machine because you have practice materials you don't have to worry about messing up. Okay, so I think I am going to go ahead and do this for the liner. I like that idea for the crotch liner to come from this. I think this actually might be my favorite panty. It's this particular one. I like it because it feels like it's low profile, like it doesn't take up a lot of fabric space, but I think I'm wrong about that. I think it takes up as much as all the others in terms of like area or square inch area, but I just think it doesn't, which is half the battle, I guess. All right, so now we got two pair of briefs that I'm going to start on. So I will switch you back this way to the sewing machine. Hello. You look like you're about to fall. One, two, three, four. One, two, three. Okay. My bad. Hey, Kita, how are you? How have you been? What you know good? What have you been up to? Okay. Oh, good. I got white thread in here, y'all. I got white thread. We are ready to go. Let me clean off my glasses. Uh, and of course, hello there. Oh, child, TikToks has just been, I'm over there a little bit, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Well, at least it hasn't felt that way to me. It just, I don't know. What do you think? Are you still there as much as before? Are you there as much as you used to be? I know that BSN still has like their programming and stuff like that. Oh, more teaching, more stuff in person. Oh, good. I'm glad. I think that makes a big, at least, well, for myself, if I were to learn crochet, which I would love to learn because I don't really know how to do it. I think I did crochet one blanket. Um, and after that, I forgot entirely how to crochet. So I definitely need a refresher. I like need someone to like sit down next to me and be like, do this, do that. Hey, and guess what? I'm getting ready for an in-person class too. I am teaching a class on underwear making at the H&H Americas conference in Rosemont, Illinois. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm trying to remember what to do here. Because golly, good. I'm like, how do I make this? Because apparently I'm gonna do everything I possibly can not to go read these directions because I made these a million and one times. I don't want to look up anything. And then I'll be like, why do these look so weird? These don't fit good. No reason. I think I got it. It doesn't help when the what you call it, when the fabrics look the right side and the wrong side look very much the same. I'm going to do a long based on this as well as a long based on the other side, just to give you an idea of what I mean when I say it connects through the middle with this is a three-piece panty that connects in the middle. The other one I'm going to be doing is a two-piece panty that has no that also connects in the middle, but it's a center seam. I'm just trying to read. TikTok and all the violations get a little ridiculous. Are you still doing your research classes? Um, I think I'm trying. Oh, Kita, Crystal is the senior producer of the Stitch Please podcast, and her fiance is a hardcore knitter. And Crystal is a loving, supportive person who takes her loving, supporting fiance out to all manner of knitting trips. And Kita, I'm also say, I think personally for me, Lisa, I find crochet harder than knitting. Personally, me. You are a crochet genius. So it's not going to be hard for you. And I agree the practice part. And I think that that is something that I have not done. I have not set myself up for success for. Yeah, so you can do both, and you don't think crochet is harder than knitting? I do. And I'm gonna say right now, I have a PhD in English and cannot read a crochet pattern because what? Or a knitting pattern. Why don't y'all just put the what is all the graphs? The graphs. Like you look at it and it's a bunch of squares. And I'm like, they don't want me to play. Just say that. Just say that. Just say, Lisa, we are not interested in you joining this side of the fiber community because we are gonna make we're gonna do our patterns in hieroglyphics. We're gonna do our patterns in hieroglyphics. That's what we're doing. Something you also see a lot with these underwear patterns is that they use a lot of what they call the burrito method, where you have an enclosed seam. Um, yeah, a chart. Like I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I read words. I don't want to read boxes. No, thank you. I don't want to read boxes. Mm-mm. It reminds me. I don't know if you remember those little workbook challenges. Um, See, now you want someone to write out all those words. Patterns would be 20 pages. Yes, yes. Who would buy who would buy a 20-page long knitting pattern made of nothing but words? She, me, her. Yes. Purling and flipping. Purling and flipping, not gonna. Yeah. Step 20. Knit, purl, knit, 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 purl, knit, knit, purl, knit, 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 purl. And I would check off every word. Knit, purl, click, purl, purl, knit, click. Oh, why don't you just put K and P in there? KP, KP, KP. Is that what those things say? Double P's, double K's? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'm not that smart. I'm just going to admit it. I just, I don't have it. I don't have that. All right, so there we go. So I just basted this in, and you start to get a little bit of an idea of what this back is going to look like. And this is again just a basting. That way I know everything is caught inside. I do tend to open up my two seams to look for that seam that's sandwiched in there, right? So this is outside seam, outside seam, inside seam. And your goal is to make sure that all three of them are stitched together. I was looking at the graph again. Yeah, well, the graphs were confusing. Maybe that's what it's. Listen, maybe I should look at the key, like the guide or the, whatever y'all call it. The secret to the holy grail of knitting, like whatever it's called. I should go look at that because I couldn't decipher it. And then it started reminding me of being in elementary school and we had to like look at these graphs and figure out the not graphs, you look at these different maps and there was a legend and you had to like measure how many kilometers it was from one place to another, neither of which places I was ever gonna go to in life. Like, and I couldn't even drive because I was a child. Like, I don't, oh, tragedy, tragedy. No, thank you. See, look, I'm getting anxious already just thinking about it. All right, so this is a very fun, weird little piece. This is a little front piece, but it'll start to make more sense once we put it in the brief itself. So right now we're gonna do that, what's called the burrito method. I'm gonna take this part, I'm gonna shove down that up, essentially it's a way to make an enclosed seam. And when you turn it after you've stitched it, your stitches, all the fabrics enclosed, and it looks really very tidy, very neat and very tidy. So here we go. Just I'm making sure that the middle piece is there. You essentially sandwich your front back pieces around the middle piece, which is going to be your crotch piece. And we're still using a long stitch. And we're just going to cut it off. All right, so now, so here you see we've got the front seam of the brief, we've got the back seam of the brief. Nothing is sewn, nothing is stitched, it's just basted. But I wanted just to give you an idea of what it's gonna look like. And the reason they call it, um, I don't know why they use the word burrito. I guess because you have to roll it up. You roll up the fabrics and stuff inside. So I don't know. But then you turn this in right side out. And you get your fabric out of that part. And you turn it right side out again. Get your fabric out of that part. And now it might start to feel more like actual underwear. So this is the front part. And this is the back part. So that's what's happening in this section. So now I'm going to turn this around and go back to the way I had it. And I will stitch it for real. I think you can, I tend to stitch these center pieces straight stitch because they're not going to stretch horizontally when you're putting them on. This is not the part, I believe, where your underwear get a lot of stress. Um, so I think I use a straight stitch here. And then knot it off and it cuts. I'll go to the other side of that brief and do the same thing. You can see how long this crotch piece is compared to the one we'll look at next. But this is essentially putting the front to the back. Before you do the side seams, you're going to cover the legs and fold over elastic. That's the next step. But now we've got a brief with front and back. I could go down and press this. Then what I'm going to do in this case is those little flags, see the little side seam flag right there? Doink, 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 doink. I'm going to cut that off. That one didn't have it on this side, and it had it a little bit on this side. I'm just smoothing that part out. Cutting off any loose threads as well, so they don't get left out when I'm doing the seam or when I'm covering the. I always hate that. I get these little whiskers You get little, whiskers in your seam. You don't want that. Well, maybe you do. It's your draw, so you can do what you want. So this is ready to get some fold over elastic on it. I'll switch to this pair. This is the back. This is the front. That. And this is the lining. The lining is going to take the right side of the lining faces the wrong side of the back of the brief. And you'll notice it's that same kind of um, sandwich element that you see here. You got the front of the brief, you've got the back of the brief, and then you have the liner right there. And that's what you stitch together. And that's the thing that basically holds them together from the middle. The sides get reinforced at the side seam. Now I'm looking at these and wondering, I think I could have made my, let me straighten this out a bit. Make sure this is even enough in here, lining up good. I think, yeah, I tell you. Really, my grandmother used to say the lazy man works the hardest. It's true, because if I had just basted these things, I wouldn't be like, oh, wait, no, trying to inch them along. They would automatically fit, but I don't want to baste. So I am not basting a seam that is less than 2 inches long. We're going to get on with our lives. All right. So we've got that there. And what this does is look more like a pair of underwear. You flip the lining up here to the front. I'm gonna baste it because I know that it's gonna be helpful to have that basted here. And then I'll do the same thing again, just grade out simply. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna use this one. I'm basting this because I want to. Because the liner that I cut is bigger than the front of the panty. And that did that on purpose. You definitely want it that way rather than the other way. You don't want your panty to be larger than your liner. I rather have the liner be larger, baste it, and then trim it down to match. Because I enjoy a liner in my undies, but if you don't have to put one. Again, the motto is whose draws is it? These are your draws. You can do whatever you want. That's one of the great things about being an adult. Okay, so lift and turn again to base this side here. Okay. Okay, so now we have this on the inside. We've got that in there. And we've got the basting here. Now, because the basting is here, I am going to trim these parts off. You see where the basting stitch ends. See, it's not a lot, but that white part that's sticking out, I'm absolutely going to cut that off with scissors. And I'll do that on the other side as well because I don't want that extra interference in the what you call it, in the fold over elastic because it'll be in the way. I'm just gonna trim here, cut this off. especially since I plan to use white fold over elastic, and it'll definitely show. Well, this particular white fold over elastic. This is like something I use for practice or sublimation. Yeah, righty. Okay, great. There's that. Do the same over here. And then when I modify this pattern, I'm gonna make this part wider. I think this part is too tiny. It doesn't match up right. But it is still, sometimes you just want a little tidy whitey, you know what I mean? Well, not whitey, but a little tidy. That's what these are for me. They're like my everyday comfort, comfortable, good fit, breathe well underdrawers. Okay, so that is done. And so now you can see the difference between these two. I'm going to switch now to putting on fold over elastic in our last 7 minutes. I'm going to put the fold over elastic on both sides of these legs. Here is one side, unless this is the waistband. No, here's the legs here and the waistband. What I'm going to do is take this waistband, fold it in half. When I fold it in half, I'm going to use a Frixion marker to mark the center point on both sides, just in case it gets turned around. So here's the center point for this one, and the center point for this one. The center point for this one. Center point for this one. Okay, so now we have the center point of this. Let me show you why we want this. Let me get a few clips, not many, maybe 3. I tend not to use any clips at all. I just kind of hold it, but I know some people feel more confident if they had clips. So I say, go ahead, get your clips. We're going to take this leg and find the center point of this line, the line from here to here, wherever the center point is. So I'm going to take these two, put them together, and find the center point. The center point usually tends to be somewhere in the crotch line. So what I'm going to do is take 2 clips to mark my center. Then I'm going to take 2 clips and I'm going to mark take where the tape is. I'm going to take this that I already did, take that middle part, open it up, open it up. Lift up my clip. I think I can move y'all so you can look a little bit closer to the sewing machine. That might be more interesting. One sec. Don't worry, I'm not going to drop you. I have one that's a little bit closer, and I think you'll be able to see better. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I'm trying to move. Oh, good Lord. Eek. Okay, there. There we go, there we go, there we go. So I don't need you to look at me. You probably want to look at the sewing machine. So I'll prop myself up. Apologize for the vertigo. There we go. Okay, here we go. And then, look at this. Hello, heal and power release. My bad, I didn't see you there. Okay, I've already marked the center points for these undies here. I'm gonna take the center points from the fold over elastic and put them right over here. Then I'm gonna clip it back over there. There you go. I have every intention of leaving this um, basting thread in here for all eternity. It lives there now. I like to put the fold over elastic on in one step, like so. Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to turn this toward the front. Gonna get a nice zigzag stitch. I'm gonna make mine about 2.0 millimeters long and maybe 3.5 wide. I'll give that a try and see if I hate it. I feel like I wouldn't hate it, but like, why would I hate it? Okay. Now, if you want it to kind of be like, you could also fold this in at the bottom so you don't have to worry about keeping this clean during for the seam allowance because you're going to decide like how you want to put it together because we're not using a serger necessarily for this and you want to use a regular machine. If you do it this way, you'll be able to have um, the fold over elastic edges will be finished because they're folded. So that's just an idea that I just thought of just now. Okay, so here goes some zigzagging. Actually, here we are, y'all. We're at 4 o'clock. It's time for me to go. I said I was gonna do this for an hour, and it's been an hour. But yeah, there we go. Um, so now you just kind of hold and stretch. Make sure that your piece is in here. Think about where you want the one thing I always like to keep in mind is the center of the zigzag foot can be found wherever this center piece is located. So I think that is an important thing to keep in mind because you'll know your zigzag is going to be centered right here. And so it'll always kind of catch. And that's something you'll want to think about as you're stitching. Oh, wait, my bobbin thread loose? Oh my goodness. Well, look, it's perfect time for me to go, y'all. Look, because I'm out of bobbin thread. I was playing bobbin chicken and I lost. Perfect timing. Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out today. This was such a good time. And I will check in again another time. Okay, bye.